Alright, so it is that time of the year again. It's time to make some Premier League predictions for the Premier League season that is coming. I think this is going to be a very interesting season to predict. I feel like I'm getting a lot wrong. Probably, it might even be even worse than last year, which was really bad. You can check my reaction to those predictions, which was my last video or 2 videos ago. It's a few videos ago. Within this one, and my Premier League predictions for last year were really bad, so let's try and do better. I did actually get a few that was spot on, but everything that wasn't spot on was so completely skewed. So let's just try and get people in the right kind of range this year. Alright, let's get on with it. So we're going to start off with 20th, bottom of the table. I'm going to just say a blanket statement. I don't think the team that finishes bottom will be quite as bad as Southampton last year. I don't think there's going to be any threat or challenge on Derby's record this year. So, having said that, I'm going to start off and say Leeds. Leeds United, that's who I've gone with at 20th place. I think they've just been very lackluster in their transfer so much. Sure, they won the championship, but I feel like a championship winning team, even a team that steamrolls the championship, is not good enough. Like, we saw all the championship teams from last season come up and go back. So, you need to make lots of signings, even as a team that gets 100 points in the championship. You need to make lots of transfers, and the transfers that they have made are just so underwhelming. Their marquee signing is Sean Longstaff, and they've signed barely anyone on top of that. Maybe Sean Longstaff goes and becomes the best player in the Premier League, but I just don't see it happening. And I see them just going down, relegated, bottom. 19th. And this could be unpopular, and I see but people vehemently disagreeing, and also people who agree with me in this one, and it's Wolves. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers, who I have going down in 19th place. I think they were already on their way down, and already like just going down the table. They've been fighting for Europe in past, and now they're bogged down all the way. I mean, last season, what was it? Was it 16th? Yeah, I think they're just above us. It's crazy. Like, I think in a season where every team is improving, I don't think Wolves have improved at all. They've lost Cunha, and it does kind of look like they're going to lose Hwang Hee-chan as well. And looking at it, there's not one significant signing for Wolves. I mean, I don't see how they can stay up if they don't improve. They've gotten worse, and they finished 16th last season. I think they're going to do 3 places worse than that. I think they're going to go down as one of the worst teams this year. Okay, now moving up to 18th, but still relegated. I think this is probably going to be my most unpopular opinion in the predictions. Maybe I think there's some other ones that could be a bit of hot takes, and one that I could definitely get wrong, and it's West Ham. I'm not sure when was the last time that they were in the championship. I think it was a while ago. Not since I've been fully following the Premier League. I just checked and it was 2012. And they have basically always been in the Premier League. They've basically always been in the Premier League, and now I'm tipping them. I think they're going to go down. I think for the first time since 2011, 2012, they're going to be in the championship. And it's crazy for them to have gone from last season's transfer window, where I had predicted them like 7th, 6th, up there. I thought they were going to do so phenomenally well. And then they finished, 15th? Maybe 14th? And it was all kind of close towards the end, 14th to 17th. It was, I mean, I think there are better teams this year, and I think they're going to go down. I mean, look at their signings. They've signed a 33-year-old Callum Wilson and Carl Walker-Peters, who was a right back in, I think, the second worst Premier League team of all time. I used to back this team so much. Like comparing this transfer window to the last, maybe some of their transfers from the last window will click, and they'll finally be like, all right, let's get this sorted. But from what they played like last season, going into right now, they've lost Kudus. I think they're getting relegated. Now we're moving up into 17th, into just surviving, and I think these guys might still get relegated. I wouldn't be shocked. It's Sunderland. They just squeezed into the Premier League. We're moving up to 16th, and here we have the final newly promoted team, and it's Burnley. I think they've had a really, really good window. Signing the likes of Marcus Edwards, for example, who I think would do really well. I think he's a great player, and I think because of that, they'll just about survive in 16th. I mean, maybe they could go down. Maybe I could be completely off the money with this, but I think they have had a great window that could prop them up and keep them up in 16th comfortably. Now, 15th, I've gone Brentford. They've lost Frank, they've lost Mbuemo, they look like they're losing Visser, they've lost Nordegaard. I don't think I need to say any more. I think they could even go and get relegated. The only reason I have them at 15th and not probably 17th or 18th is the fact that they signed Kelleher, who I think is a phenomenal keeper, who I think is going to do some heavy lifting for them this season. Moving up to 14th, and I think these guys could finish even lower, it's Fulham. They've made one proper signing, and it's like a third choice keeper. They'll struggle for sure. I think the players that they already have will help them play. The likes of Anthony Robinson, for example, will help them not be a complete car crash. But I think even from this point, even I have them at 14th, I think even here, I think they might get relegated. But I ultimately I think they won't, because I put them 14th. I don't think they are in the three worst teams in this Premier League season, but they'll struggle for sure. To 13th, and it's Newcastle. And at the end of last Premier League season, the beginning of this, before the transfer window opened, I would have never predicted them this low. I would have never thought that they could fall off this quickly, this badly. But they've signed Anthony Elanga, and they've lost out on everyone else. They've lost out on Trafford. They've lost out on Ekitike. They've lost out on so many people that they're trying to sign. They've lost out on Shesko. And new developers seem like they might not lose Isak. But even then, I think they are going to lose Isak. And I think even if he stays, he's going to be so incredibly demotivated. And the morale's going to be awful if he stays, honestly. I think it's worth it at this point to just let him go. And I think either way, they're going to do badly. I've seen people saying that they could even, probably not get relegated, but even go as low as 17th, 16th. I think 13th is a sensible prediction for them, because I don't think they're going to fall off that badly. But I don't think it's going to be a good season for them by any means. 12th, Palace. 12th, 50-ish points. I don't think I need to say anymore. Predicted them 12th last season, even though people had them going much higher. You know what happened? I said 12th and 50-ish points. They finished with 12th and 50-ish points. Next. Moving on to 11th, and I definitely think these guys could do worse, but we'll see how it goes. I've gone with 11th, I've gone with Nottingham Forest, and I hope they do worse. I hope these guys get relegated. I honestly hope they get relegated. I hope Marinakis dies. But I think they'll drop off from last season, and we already saw them at the end of last season dropping off. They went from 2nd to finishing ultimately 7th, or was it? In the end, they've kept Morgan Gibbs-White illegally. I hope we sue them and win our court case. But they've lost pieces like Danilo and Elanga, and I think it's definitely going to be a worse season than last season. They could definitely finish lower than this, and I hope they do. Into 10th, and it's another team that I hope do a lot worse, and it's Everton. I hope these guys get relegated. In an ideal world, relegation is, let's see, bottom Everton, and then Forest, and then Villa. Don't really like Villa. Well, I don't really like Matty Cash, but he's not really a key piece for them, is he, anymore? So I don't really care past that. But Everton, I've gone with 10th because I think they've had a decent window. They've signed Alcaraz, who looks like a decent wonder kid, and also Dewsbury Hall from Chelsea, which I think went a bit under the radar, but I saw it when I was looking through the transfers. And I think these are some alright signings. I think they're going to have a decent midfield. I'm not quite sure if the new stadium is going to be a detriment to them or even boost them higher, but we'll see. Into 9th, and I'm going with United. I think they've improved a lot, but at the moment, it's really not clicked. We've seen it in the games they've played in pre-season. They've got Mbuemo, they've got Cunha, they've got Shesko now as well, who I think this could be a great front line, but I don't think they're going to click for a while. And if they do click, I think we'll see a great run of form with them, a really great run of form with them. But I just don't think they're going to click, at least for a while. And if they don't click at all, they're going to be in great trouble. I think this is more of a case of going into next season where United can finally push and be more like themselves. But then again, it's United, and they have this habit of turning these good players awful. They finished 15th last season. I think they've improved. They finished 15th last season. I think they've improved enough to push themselves up into this top half. Into 8th and what could be a European spot, but I'm not putting it in this leaderboard as a European spot because it's not guaranteed to be a European spot. I've gone with Brighton. They don't seem to have signed anyone big, but it's Brighton. They've signed a bunch of randos who could turn out to be the next fucking best player in the world. I mean, there's just no knowing. They sold Estupiñán, they sold João Pedro, but I think I just trust in their recruitment process, and I think they'll go up to 8th. They could go a lot worse than that. They could definitely go a lot worse than that, but I'm just going to go with 8th for now, which is, I believe, the same as they finished last season. 7th, it's Villa. They've had a complete nothing window, but I think their squad is probably big enough. They've not really lost anyone. They've still got Ollie Watkins. I think they'll be good enough to just 7th, Europe. In 6th, and I have the biggest feeling that I'm going to regret this one. I have the biggest feeling that this is just going to be completely wrong, and I've gone with Bournemouth. And it's mainly because I love Andoni Iraola. I'm a Rayo fan. I love what he did for us. And I think he can lift this team, even having lost its entire defence. I trust that he can bring this team and keep on improving, because every season it's just, our new best finish. I think he'll have another new best finish and bring the Cherries some Europe. Now into 5th and what could be Champions League, or otherwise Europa League. And I've gone with my beloved Tottenham, which, if you haven't gotten already, I feel like you probably should have from the Forest. I am a Tottenham fan. I'd love to put us higher than this. I definitely think we could finish a lot lower than this. I'm kind of working on the presumption, because I follow Tottenham transfers a lot more closely, that we're definitely going to sign someone else. I think we're getting Eze. I'm hoping we're getting Eze. We've lost Maddison for most of the season. Son's gone, but I don't think that's a huge loss, as he was mostly a rotation option, especially last season. He wasn't incredible. I think Kudus looks great. I think Teller's really going to come into his own, although he's not had a great preseason. A lot of Spurs Twitter does not like Teller, doesn't think he's going to turn out great. But I disagree. I think he is going to turn out great. I think he's going to be a good signing. And I'd love to see a front line of Solanke, Tell, and Kudus. Another thing is we're still in injury crisis. I think Kulusevski's injured. I think Udoji's also injured. I think Solanke's injured as well. I haven't really followed this too closely, but it's not looking great. And now we're into the top 4, which is definitely Champions League. And in 4th, I think these guys are finally going to break their streak of just finishing 2nd every year. We finished 4th instead. It's Arsenal. Sadly, I think St. Tottenham Day is going to happen again this year. But I think it's definitely going to be a disappointment for them. They've got Gyökeres, fine. They've got a new striker. But I think the other teams have improved way more, and enough for them to be displaced down to 4th. I also don't think Gyökeres is looking too great. I've heard people saying he looked alright, and then I've also seen the stats where I've also seen people saying he's been awful and his stats aren't great. I think he finally scored in a preseason game the other day, but I don't think he's looking good at all. And I think he'll be alright if Gyökeres does become one of the league's best strikers. Then Arsenal are probably in for a title challenge. But I think they'll roughly be in the outskirts for it for most of the season as the other 3 teams take control of it. In 3rd, I've gone with City. And this is interesting, because last year I said I will always, every season, I cannot see where I don't put City at 1st. I think they'll win every single league season that is coming. Which is... Maybe I should listen to myself from last season. But I think the other 2 teams that are left are just better. I think they've improved so much, and they look like a complete project. City finished 3rd last season, and obviously they've gone and they've made a bunch of new signings again this season. I can't think off the top of my head, but I think 3rd is about right. I don't think they're going to win the title. I think they're going to go 2 years in a row without winning it, which is, when was the last time we had that? Into 2nd, and this will also inadvertently reveal who I've gone with 1st, and I've gone with 2nd, Chelsea. I've gone Chelsea 2nd. I don't think they're going quite as far as the title, but I think they're fresh off the back of winning the best glorified pre-season friendly tournament of all time, or post-season friendly tournament of all time. And they beat PSG. I mean, the teams took it seriously. I still think it's basically a friendly. I don't think it should happen, but the teams took it seriously. So I think we can definitely look at it and be like, okay, they look good. They've got João Pedro, who I wouldn't hope would be a good player, but he looks like he's going to be good. And their whole team seems to be clicking. They've got so many pieces in their team that do look rather excellent. And while I really enjoyed laughing at Chelsea during their long banter era, I think it's coming to a close at this point, and I think they're really going to challenge this year. And in first, it's the only one left. It's Liverpool. And it's crazy, because this was already a great stacked team last season. And you know what they've gone and done? They've gone and they've really improved. They've got Ekitike, they've got an actual competent striker, and they might, I don't think they're going to anymore actually, and I'm kind of on the fence, they might be about to get an even better competent striker, who the second best striker in the league, Isak. They might be about to sign him. Like, they've signed Wirtz, he's a great midfielder. Didn't they also sign Frimpong? I think, let's be so for real. Let's be so for real right now. They're winning the league. And I think they're winning the lot. I think they're winning. I think they might win a quadruple. This team is crazy. But maybe I'm proving wrong. Anyway, that now concludes these Premier League predictions. And I think the next video I should be doing is kits, which might not be for a while. We'll see what happens there. But the Premier League season is starting this weekend, and I think we're all just stoked and super excited for it. We've got the Super Cup on Tuesday. I don't know when this is coming out. This might be out after that, and I might have gotten my Super Cup prediction video out in time. But either way, thank you to all of you who have watched to this point. I have been Ollie Mudkip, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.